Right then guys, and welcome back to another episode in our Rise of the Moors series. In the last episode, I said we were next going to be showing the home game versus Corby. I thought I timed it to perfection. I expected we were going to be winning the divisional title in that Corby game. But as it transpires, Boston United have dropped points again. So that leaves us 20 points clear with 8 games to go. So we only need one more win to secure the title and promotion to the Vanarama National League. And because of that, we've only played 3 games since the last episode. I'll show you the highlights of those 3 games now, and then we'll do the extended highlights for the game away at Worcester, where we can win the title. Right, so let's have a look at those highlights now. Now, overall, we've been more consistent in the games that we've played throughout March. Less so in the Gainsborough game, which was actually quite a challenging victory for us, mainly because of our continued poor discipline of some of our midfielders. And it's Jack Byrne this time, receiving 2 yellow cards in 2 minutes. So for a large period of the game, we ended up playing essentially a 4-2-2-1 formation. But the game had a lot of opportunities for both teams, and I think both of us actually hit the woodwork. Now, we conceded a lot of shots to Gainsborough, only 3 on target though, and really our possession football came into its own in this game and allowed us to really nullify the threat of the extra man. Our goal in first half stoppage time for Matt Godden there, so that's a really good contribution from him. And Odiambo as well was absolutely fantastic in that game. Now, we've been more consistent in the other 2 games, that being against Lowestoft and Gloucester. And in both of these games, we firmly controlled the play. Again, Lowestoft conceded a few too many shots, but many were from long range, and they weren't really a threat to us in that game. And finally, the trip to Gloucester, we just dominated them from start to finish. We conceded a few shots to them, but we were so creative in this particular fixture, and we created a lot of opportunities for ourselves, and realistically we should have scored more. A goal from Jean-Michel Fontaine, which is second in 2 games, and another from Bradley Lewis in the fixture over Gloucester. The goal we conceded was from a set piece. Gloucester have been dangerous from set pieces all season. It did not come as a surprise to concede a goal in that manner. So since you were last with us, at the start of March was the National Youth Recruitment Day. Now, not too many hot prospects, I don't think. Just the one player who looks like he might have a future with us, and that is Stuart Davis. I've signed him up to a youth contract, so we'll have him with it for a couple of years where we can really assess this chap. His potential ability looks good. The reports so far are saying that he is going to improve as a footballer immensely. Pretty decent physical stats for him, as well as his work rate at this stage, but as you can see, a lot of development across the board technically, really. We've also had the free transfer deadline as well in this month. Not too many players really that were of interest to us. Leading up to that deadline, I tried to move on a couple of players who were unhappy with us. One being Nathan Waters, who has been playing quite a lot of football for us recently. But he wasn't particularly happy that I haven't kept my promise of him playing first team football, which is just ridiculous. So I tried to move him on unsuccessfully, I might add. Now, I did have a look around to see who was available at the time and who's going to really improve our squad realistically for next season. And the one chap that I managed to bring in is Kieran Bywater, who I've brought in from Bishop Stortford. He came from the West Ham Youth Academy. He's been playing in the Vanarama South with Bishop Stortford, which is the same level of football as we are playing now. And he's contributed 7 goals and 11 assists for them so far this season. Now, Bywater looks a pretty decent player. The scouting suggested he's a good player for the Vanarama National League already, so really he's a player for next season. But we have a few games at the end of this season to really assess what he can bring. He's a decent winger. He's got a bit of pace about him, and his finishing, crossing and dribbling are all pretty decent as well. In that respect, he's a similar player to Matthew Fletcher, who plays that role on the left wing for us now, but the coaches regard Bywater as being a much better player than Fletcher at this stage. Now, just touching a little bit more on the youth recruitment, I scoured the divisions for some real quality new gens who are really going to add to the team now, as well as giving us a lot of potential when we rise through the league structure. Unfortunately, a lot of the players that I discovered were reluctant to move to us, as we are a part-time team. And I think that is going to be a problem, really, for us to sign quality new gens like that, possibly for the next couple of seasons. We'll see when the board make us a full-time team. I'm not convinced it's going to happen until we really enter league football, and hopefully that isn't going to be more than at the end of next season. We'll touch more on our plans for next season, as well as any new recruits, in the next couple of episodes, definitely in the one after next, where I'll try and do a bit of a seasonal review of our progress so far this year. Now, as you've seen on that screen and in the highlights, we lost Jack Byrne to a suspension, so he'll be playing out his final game of suspension today, so he'll miss the opportunity for us to win the league. So we've got the opportunity to win the league away at Worcester. The Boston game has been postponed, and that's quite a tricky game for them against Brackley, who are pushing for the remaining playoff spots. Like I've mentioned before, it's so congested around those playoff positions now. Brackley are on some good form. AFC, Telford have been fading away, and it's actually Tamworth and Alfreton who are the form teams, really. Tamworth, I think, undefeated in 12, and Alfreton haven't conceded a goal for a few games either. But today is all about us, really. We haven't lost a game since the Tranmere game at the start of February, and we haven't lost in the league since the Alfreton game at the start of January. So a slight rejig in the team for us. Obviously, Jack Burns suspended, and stupidly, Keenan Kwanzaa I've allowed to play in essentially the under-18s game today. So he's not available either. What we do have, though, is I'm bringing Kieran Bywater in for his debut today. He seemed to be on a decent run of form for his previous club, Bishop Stortford. And whilst I've been impressed with Matthew Fletcher in the last few fixtures, he'll start from the bench. So Jean-Michel Fontaine up top, Kieran Bywater, he's playing the inside forward role, Odiambo ever present on the right wing. We'll be playing Walker and Gittings in the centre of the park, and the usual defensive unit with Haddon playing the defensive midfield role. So they've made us favourites today, so we can secure the title today with a win. If we draw the game, we'll need Boston United to drop points in the remaining 8 games. It's a shame that they're not playing today, despite it not saying that fixture's postponed on this screen. I don't believe they're playing today. which means if they were and they didn't secure a victory over Brackley, a draw would have been enough for us today. Okay, so they're playing 4-4-2. We're going for our standard 4-1-2-3 formation. Is that the Lee Hughes? It is. It is the Lee Hughes. So he's a bit of a danger man. He's got enough about him. Sean Harrod has been playing well in the league, I believe. We have to close both of those down, as well as their wide men. And yes, let's encourage our team today. We should have enough about us to see off this game, see off Worcester and win the league. So Callum Gittings, match sharpness is a little low. Jean-Michel Fontaine, his morale is a little poor, even though he scored 2 in 2. We do have Beasley on the bench if needs be. So it's the Moors to start here. Away at Worcester, where we can wrap up the title. Throw in now, Haddon. Back to Franklin over on the left. He finds Walker into Gittings. He plays it forward to the debutant Bywater. I'm hoping he can have a good game for us today. Gittings' pass is cut out and it's Lee Hughes now. Good tackle from Franklin. Clattering there, danger man Harrod. Glasgow forward to Odiambo here. Into Gittings' feet. He beats one man. That's good. Good foul to take there. Oh, it's a red card as well. Perfect start for Worcester. Their central midfield has been sent off already. I'm going to stick on the counter for the time being, but hopefully we can dominate some possession now. Picked up bookings of both Jack Haddon and Bywater. To throw in into Harrod for Worcester now. Green there, fullback. He's been allowed time and space to move forward, but poor shot from him in the end. Yeah, the assistant's trying to tell us to push forward, but I just want to stay as we are for the time being. Well, why are we dropping so deep though? Conceding a terrible shot there, and Simpson only just managed to deal with that there. I think we need to have a quick look at it's a free kick to Worcester at the edge, but I think we need to have a quick look at this as well. Retain possession, yes, I want to do that. I don't want to push too far forward because their attacker has a bit of pace on us. We're going to dominate the middle of the park here. I'll push the tempo up ever so slightly. I'm going to put it on control as well. This is going to stay the same. I may push Haddon into central midfield as well. We'll see what the outcome of this dangerous free kick is. Straight into the wall. This is the stage we need to be pushing out. We're just so slow at moving out. Glasgow, great tackle on their fullback Green. I didn't want to do that. I want to do advanced tactics. We're half an hour in. Haddon's been booked, but I'm going to push him in there. Glasgow, he's going on the attack. Central midfield defends for Haddon. Advanced playmaker. Well, central midfielder support for Gittings. Walker, he's going central midfield attack. We need to start controlling the ball a bit better in the midfield. So 35 minutes in, we're not creating any chances really. We've conceded too many shots to Worcester, who are a man down. And Odiambo's lost the ball again. It's Green bombing forward. Our defenders need to step out and sort this out now. It's Harrod. He's got time and space. He slots it through to Green. And if it was anybody else, we would be a goal down there. That is poor defending from the Moors. Odiambo, he's got two men on him. Ben Glasgow now. Gittings collects the ball. He finds Fontaine at the edge of the area, but it's comfortably saved from their goalkeeper. Our pass completion rate is good. but we are conceding far too many shots from a team who are a man down, and we are not controlling the game as well as we should be. This is a poor performance so far from us. I'm going to tell them that. Jean-Michel Fontaine has just done absolutely nothing. I think perhaps the pace of Beasley might help. We don't need a target man in this situation. We're sticking on control. Instructions, I think we need to stay the same. I'm sticking to my philosophy. I'm not going to panic. It's still 0-0. We just haven't been playing particularly well. We'll see how we can do in the second half. So it's Worcester to kick off now. We're 45 minutes away from winning the league, but we need to get a goal. Harrod's playing in the channel now. It's a good tackle from Glasgow. And it's mopped up from our defence in the end. Bywater, the debutant. Again, poor performance from him. Gittings with a corner for the Moors now. It's cleared as far as Haddon. He's at the edge of the area and drills it in. It's another comfortable save from Weston. That's only our second shot on target. Finally, the possession stats are coming in our favour. It's Gittings now. He drills that free kick into the wall. Ben Franklin on the edge of the area. Back to Gittings. We've got men on the overlap. Theo Street! Unbelievable! The Captain Fantastic has rifled an unbelievable volley into the back of the net. Oh, he may have taken a touch there, but it's a good goal nonetheless. That may be the goal that seals the league title for us. I'm going to make a change at this stage. I'm going to drop us to standard. I don't want us to become too complacent here, and I'm going to drop the tempo down as well. Back to the philosophy that we are used to. Bywater just hasn't really done much for me today. I'm going to bring Matthew Fletcher on. He's going to play on that left. I'm going to put him back to winger role. We've got one more substitution to make. We're only 30 minutes in. My concern is we've picked up a few bookings so far. I'm going to leave it as it is for now. We can drop Haddon down back into that hole if needs be. Let's leave it as it is. Looks like Franklin's going to pick up a booking here as well. Yeah, yellow cards, and Worcester, who are pretty decent at set pieces, may have a free kick at the edge. No, they're not going to show that one. So it's a throw-in to the Moors. Glasgow, long ball into Haddon. He's at the edge of the area. Franklin now slots it forwards to Fletcher, who's just come off. He's got the energy. Fletcher with a decent ball in, and it's Beasley at the back post. And the Worcester defenders just didn't deal with that. What was quite a normal long cross in from Connor Franklin there. The defender at the front post has had a nightmare there. He should have dealt with that. And Jake Beasley's come off the bench and he's put us 2-0 up. Can the celebration start now? Going into the last few moments, we're not getting silly. We're going to preserve this now. Haddon's going to drop back. I'm going to bring on Bradley Lewis for goal scorer Theo Street. Just because he's booked Lewis a little bit more pace as well, so he can deal with the threat of their attacker in the last few moments. We're on standard. I'm going to drop to counter as well. I don't want to play negative football, but we're going to preserve this lead now. We're not going to do anything silly. We're going to win the title here today. Last 10 minutes or so. Worcester with the corner. Oh, great save from... it's just tapped in the end. McDonald has got a goal. It's a great save from Simpson though. I'm not surprised They are a good team at set pieces, and surely this is no more than a consolation for them. But they're here again. Worcester, Harrod at the edge. Green whips the ball in. It's cleared by Lewis. Into Jackman, and Simpson collects it. Ben Glasgow with a throw in for the Moors now. Into Odiambo. Glasgow whips it in, but it's poor. And Worcester are going to come away with it here. Gittings collects the ball. Another Cruyff turn. They love that Cruyff animation. Odiambo, the great long ball forward to Glasgow. He's still on the overlap. He crosses in. Beasley again. Oh, over. He should have scored. Only a couple of minutes to go here. It's a long ball forward, and Lewis cuts that ball out from Harrod. If Theo Street was still on the field, I don't think we could have dealt with that long ball there. Odiambo, back to Glasgow. Forward to Gittings with some space. Walker. We're running down the clock now. Glasgow finds Odiambo at the edge of the area. Cross forward, and it's Beasley again. And we've wrapped it up in style. Jake Beasley, 2 goals for him off the bench. It's a fantastic goal for the Moors. That exemplifies the type of football that we've been playing this year. Quality possession in the middle of the park, patient build-up down the wings, and then a crucial, fantastic ball into our poachers. And that should be it. It's going to be 3-1, and we've won. The Moors were champions in our first season, and we've won the title away at Worcester. And really, we've continued our good form in the last few games. Good solid victory for us today as well. The shots on target and chances were pretty even between the two teams. We dominated possession, but we were man up for a long period of the game. And that's it, 3-1 for us. We've wrapped up the title. We've been playing some fantastic football in the last few games. Yes, we were against 10 men there, but I think we've killed off Worcester's hope of making 5th place there. So it's Boston with the game in hand now on us, but it doesn't matter anymore. We're 23 points clear of them, and Boston have got 7 games to play. Fantastic. We're worthy winners. We've still got some football to play, but we've only conceded 19, and we've scored 63 goals so far. We've got an absolutely phenomenal goal difference as well. So only a few games to go now. Many of them are lower table opposition. It's only the game against AFC Telford which may have an impact on the success of some of the other teams, because AFC Telford at the moment are holding on to that last playoff place. I'm not going to take it easy on for the rest of the fixtures. However, we've got a few of the youngsters and the other prospects that I want to give an opportunity the next few games. Especially our debutant that played today. I want him to have a decent run in the team, so we can really assess his potential as a valued member of our squad. So the next episode will be our final game of the season. That's away at FC United, who they're in the relegation battle at the moment. But the episode after, I'll do a quick season review. We'll discuss what's gone well and what hasn't. We'll have a look at the plans for the off-season, and then we'll really get cracking on with our preparations for next season, following our promotion into the Vanarama National League. So the Moors are champions, and deservedly so. So thanks for watching again. Until next time, cheers.